What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 5 of season 1 of Lazarus. We'll be talking full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode. We'll do a real quick recap. This episode was pretty basic in its story. Basically, they head to Delta Medical because somebody there has been uploading sound files to a real-life website that they name-dropped. And it's basically the sounds that are being uploaded onto there is data. And so they go to Delta Medical to find out who's doing that because they assume that they have a connection to Skinner and they're putting this data out there for him. They end up going there, trying to find a way in. Axel just barges in like he does, gets into a fight with a bunch of security guards in an elevator, tight quarters combat, and beats everybody up. He ends up finding, was the president? Of Delta, basically trying to figure out his connection with Skinner. He says that he hasn't heard from him either, so he couldn't even tell him where he is if he wanted to. They basically make a plan to have a fake meeting among all the people in science and medical to basically say that they've come up with a cure for the Hopna crisis that's coming up, and hopefully lure him out. They end up doing that, having tight security that of course doesn't work out because they end up getting hacked by, I forgot what the hacker's name was. Popcorn Wizard. Yep. Popcorn Wizard, a hacker, hacks the whole thing. They try to find out how they're hacking it. They think they're in the building. Then they end up finding out that they used the walkie-talkies that all the security guards had to hack the place. They basically make everything malfunction, go crazy, while they're all running around trying to figure it out. The girl, I forgot her name. I like how I know Popcorn Wizard, but not one of the characters that's been around since the first episode. Tries to counter hack the hacker. They have a little hacker battle.
Yeah, I think her hacker name's pretty vacant. So
yeah, I don't fucking remember. The Popcorn Wizard person just says hardcore a lot and ends up besting the other hacker from a specific location, throwing their laptop out a window, ends up calling them, basically telling them, you're the closest one to ever, get me. And yeah, I think they're left with nothing. Was there anything else at the end there that was just got defeated by another hacker?
Yeah, which was one of the ones that was mentioned earlier when they were talking about how many
the three hackers,
3 that were capable of it. That was the third.
So. Yeah. So we actually saw this one as they were having the hacker battle. They are a Sex Pistols fan because Johnny Rotten. And yeah, nothing else. I don't think. What do we think?
It was an okay episode. The beginning, I think, was a little better than the for the first half was better than the second half for me. The whole scouting out the building, finding out the security's really good. The drones can't get close because of jamming. There's no other buildings that are tall enough to cross over to it.
So of course Axel just does his I'm an adrenaline junkie thing.
Yeah, and I like how he gets in. He figures a way in, but he's just not a very convincing guy. He comes off very sketchy, and so the security followed him into
He's
the
not
elevator.
subtle.
Yeah. Which was a very cool sequence. They really have some pretty fun fight scenes in this show. I also like how they kind of did it's kind of reminiscent of old wuxia movies where all the strikes pause for a second. The whole fight in the elevator was like that. A lot of pauses every time there was a strike or a throw. There'd be a pause. It was fun. So, yeah. And then once they were done with the espionage part and it turned into the plan part, it was kind of at first I thought it was oh, that's a neat idea. And then the whole hacker battle thing was very, very, very tropey. And so it was kind of not as fun for me. And then also just the character was obnoxious. So I didn't really enjoy their presence on the screen either. So
yeah, and I'm sure we'll get something from this in the next episode, but we didn't really get a conclusion that was in any way satisfying or leading towards anything really. So It's just and like I said, I'm sure it'll go somewhere. Of course it will. But and it was interesting that the hacker even called them up.
Yeah.
But it is weird that the whole episode's premise was trying to draw Skinner out and getting hacked. And that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty basic episode. Not every episode has to be amazing, though. Obviously, if it bridges into something else, then I'll have zero complaints about it. So, we did also get the information from the CEO that the monkey we saw in the previous episode, the first one was in fact theirs and was the first test subject to die from the drug. And then we were kind of given the symptoms leading up to that, including that after they passed, they had like a consolation type thing going on in their very large pupils at that point. So
yeah, we basically got to confirm that the Hopna thing is happening. It's not just being said. And that's something I speculated on the last episode when I showed the monkey, because I was like, oh, that must be the first casualty from this. So
yep. And even the CEO was like, humans are soon. So
yeah. And we even got, seeing more of how the hysteria is taken on with people, with that one guy trying to take that fake
the
saline injection and thinking it was actually a cure, and putting it in him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. I didn't dislike the episode. It just was not as exciting as exciting is probably not the right word. It wasn't as interesting as the prior episodes so far.
Yeah. I kind of just wish we got more from it. We got some confirmations. We got an interesting scenario. It doesn't need to be a big action episode. That's completely fine. I just wish the story was a little more interesting. But yeah, I agree. I think the build-up was a little more interesting in the beginning. I did like the fight scene in the elevator. It was well animated and choreographed, with a lot of interesting angles and choreography. I also thought it was kind of weird to watch them all just silently fight each other. There's just an understanding of they're gonna rough him up, and he knew that, and so he's
while the doors are closing.
Yeah. So there's nothing that needed to be exchanged, and so no one's talking. It's just them fighting.
Yeah.
Also says a lot that he went in there expecting that. He walked out just kind of fixing his jacket, but everybody else is just laid out. So obviously Axel's. I
think he choked out two of them with their own ties.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which is funny because in a lot of street fight scenarios, people always say don't have long hair, don't have a fucking beard, don't have a tie on, all that stuff, because it's all shit people can grab on. So it's interesting that they actually thought about that when it came to making that fight scene play out. But yeah, that was satisfying to watch for sure, and it definitely felt like Mappa-y. Kind of reminded me of some of the fights in JJK. And then, the whole hacker battle I thought was interesting enough. It did feel tropey for sure, but it was a fun change of pace. We know that this character, that I can never remember their name, is one of the top 3 hackers or whatever. So it was cool to see them do something that seemed only certain hackers would be able to do. They were setting up traps and stuff and trying to figure things out
with a fail safe in case the first plan failed. That type of thing. So.
Yeah, so that was fun in concept. It wasn't the most fun to watch, but it was interesting in general. And then the lack of resolution at the end of the episode, just kind of being left like that. It's not even a cliffhanger or anything. It's just they got bested. I'm okay, well, I'm ready for the next episode then.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to sound super negative on it. I'm vacant. There's nothing. I feel nothing for that ending. It was a fine episode. Definitely looking forward to the next episode. Hopefully it takes us in a direction that gets a little more interesting, because now we are narrowing down leads even further. Nobody knows where Skinner's at. They're going to have to find this hacker some other way, or find somebody else who might know where Skinner's at, because this didn't work. So
otherwise the show's just going to have to introduce a new lead.
There's going to have to be something else,
basically. So.
Which it will, I'm sure. Otherwise, it'll fail, but miserably if they can't figure that out. But I'm sure they got something going on with it. So, overall, an interesting episode. I wasn't super in love with it, but it was fine. So, anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments what you guys think about this episode. What were some of your favorite parts, maybe least favorite parts, and maybe there's something in this episode we didn't talk about in the comments. And where do you think things are going from here? Where do you want things to go? What do you think about the hacker battle? What do you think about the elevator fight? And how you feeling about the show? up until this point. Let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Lazarus. Stay tuned. We'll have more reviews for this and Shogun. We still got to get back to watching that. And we take recommendations, so let us know if there's something you think we should watch. Can't guarantee we'll watch it, but we'll definitely take it under consideration. And yeah, I've been Seth, this has been Chevy. Until the next review, we will talk to you guys later.